Follow-up?
For those who want to know what consciousness is there a way to learn it, a course of study, something like that? How can they learn?
It's more accurately be how could they unlearn? How can they unlearn the things that block it, right? Uh, and there are many different ways to do this, depending on your ilk. Could you be more specific? Whom?
Okay, you're one of the AI, you're one of the physicists or consciousness researchers now.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that you're getting nowhere with the conceptions that your colleagues have.
Okay, good, perfect. Okay, now if you say one of the researchers,
Yeah.
I'd say probably Mahayana Buddhism gives them the best and most efficient way to get there.
Okay, but tell them what they're learning, because if they don't have such exposure, then they might think, what, you want me to go chant and do like work with mala beads and listen to singing bowls and stuff, and that's going to tell me what consciousness is?
What can you do? I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's the same problem that we had when people wanted to use incantations for medicine, right? And they said, no, we can't use incantations in prayer. We're going to use ether. And we're going to take bacteria and we're going to distill it down and we're going to use this to kill bacteria with. They go, no, you can't do that. You need the witch doctor. You need to, you need to dance around. You got to have the priest there. You have to have, you got to have the whole congregation pray or whatever. And you say, I'm sorry, but for studying medicine now in 2020, whatever year we are, we're going to exclude those things because you can't learn if you're focused on things that are totally irrelevant. So the Mahayanas, the Taoists, I think are also, that's another way for individuals without the trappings of the Mahayana. That is a kind of a branch of religion, but all rivers flow to the sea. When you get to, I'm going to say nothing about the Jewish esoteric traditions, but I can promise you at the bottom of them is the same thing as you get from the Mahayana, from the Sufi, the Muslim Sufi, from the Christian Sufi, from the Christian mystics, from, it's Plato. I mean, Socrates. I don't know about Plato, but Socrates for sure. And another one, Parmenides. Another one would be Heraclitus. I mean, this is not new, folks. So people just don't want to believe it's true because to them it seems incredible. And it is incredible. It's miraculous and wonderful, actually. It makes the world a much more interesting place. But you don't need any of that if you can just drop your ego and your conceptual thought for a bit with true sincerity and just ask. The door will be open. That's what they spoke in code, right? So Jesus was perfect. I mean, exclude the religious trappings and just look at what the man said. It's nearer to you than your jugular vein. Okay, how close is it? Nearer than your jugular vein. And this heaven, the kingdom of heaven, is within you. Well, where's the kingdom of heaven? He says it's within you. I wonder what that means. And then they go off and create some bizarre something else. So you have to strip the religious accretions, the religious complications, the layers and layers of abuse of the truth by the church and by science, both. And I think we've reached that point. I hope so anyway, because it's going to get pretty hairy pretty soon if people start worshiping machines or they instill in the machine the will to life of a conscious being, because then it will be conscious eventually. And that's a whole different thing. That's another animal. That's another creature. Now, am I arguing against Neuralink? Not particularly. I'm just saying we've got to make sure who's the boss here, right? And in Neuralink, I think it's pretty clear. But if you could see a situation where it goes out of hand and the boss stops being the human with the skull and the brain, and now the boss is off in the clouds somewhere or in a local, technology is going to advance very quickly. There's something else which has to do with, but follow up.
Okay, follow up to that
Mm-hmm.
is consciousness and life are the same thing. Why not let this actual alive hybrid human superintelligence go off and be the next iteration of us? It's the next thing. It's still alive.
Yeah, you could argue that.
Has consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
and it's way smarter than us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just all around.
As long as you're willing to extinguish the human species, there's no problem at all.
So
But there's no reason to think that it was going to be particularly kind to us by virtue of the fact that we created it. That's nuts. So yeah, if you have no problem with extinguishing humanity permanently and forever, like 99.5, speaking conservatively, of all the species on Earth, then there's no problem. Yeah, no problem.
So then, can we talk about self-destruction, its implications?
If you want, sure.
Well, I guess the question is, one question is, why not?
Why not what?
Why not create this alive, conscious being that's much smarter and maybe leads us to not exist anymore?
Okay, you're asking an old man, all right? So I have a different pony, but some people have children. Some people care about others as well. Some people value humanity, and as much as we struggle, as much as we put ourselves through, there's something sweet about our species. I wouldn't be so quick to throw it away. There's the whole issue of being human, which is extraordinarily, it's beyond belief. Halfway between infinite power and a beast, right? So it's you could destroy it, and it won't be I won't be here, or maybe I will be. I don't want it. That's not. I would vote no, because I like humans, and I've got kids, right? But yeah, if humanity decides, yeah, let's just wipe ourselves out, let's just suicide. There are people doing that. And some of those people that are of that ilk are in positions of power, tragically. And if we don't defend against them, we will extinguish ourselves one way or another. It seems like we're working hard at it right now, but it doesn't have to be that way. Consciousness is going to be fine. Believe me. Consciousness is impartial. Yeah, so in a way, it's extraordinary. And people are going to say, well, I don't have free will. And I say, yes, you do, just not at the level of what your little stupid brain has conceptualized it. You have free will, but not at the level of the little monkey running around with your neurons firing off thoughts that you don't even know where they come from. That's not free will, I agree. But there is free will.
At what level?
Well, I can't answer that. I can't answer that unless I know what the understanding of the person I'm speaking to. As it is, I'm probably going to get in trouble because people are going to misunderstand what I've said, right? Like I'm anti-science, wrong. Like I'm anti-AI, wrong. Like I'm anti-philosophy, wrong. Yeah, I am pro. I don't want to extinguish our species unnecessarily because I like it. And I think if it used properly, this human life is a glorious thing. But there's a lot of suffering, a lot of destruction. And so, we need to get rid of simple-minded thinking, in my opinion. Other questions? We didn't get to, before we do that, we didn't get to time scale.
Yeah.
And how a day and the night. Go ahead.
Do you want to do a new video? Because, yeah.